Okay, shalom, shalom. Once again, I'm back, and this time, last week I talked to you about false teachers, and this week, how to recognize a false Hebrew Israelite camp. We have a label. They've tried to place a label on us. Black Hebrew Israelite. Okay, what's a black Hebrew Israelite? Number one, you cannot find black Hebrew Israelite in the Bible nowhere. So where did this come from? Someone pinned this. This is something else that they pinned on us. All these different names, all these bywords. It's just another one. And so, I've been called a black Hebrew Israelite. Oh, you one of them black Hebrew Israelites. And I said, no, I'm not a black. I don't know what you're talking about. I do not associate myself with black Hebrew Israelite. So the question is, how do we recognize false Hebrew Israelite camps? How do we know that they're false? How do we know they're not operating in the true Scripture? How do we know this? This is what this video is about. I'm gonna show you examples. I'm going to give balance here. I'm going to be very lenient because I believe and I know that the Most High using some of these camps to awaken the people. But somewhere along the line, these men have knowledge and understanding of the Scriptures. I cannot deny that. Some of these men have knowledge in the Scriptures, and we cannot deny that. But somewhere along the line, something happens. And I think they get the big head, and they continue to teach. And the Most High stopped feeding them knowledge and information. So this is what they don't understand. Their eyes will begin to be closed when it comes to the Scriptures, and they can read something and not see it. I don't know how many times I've been through the Scriptures. I've read the Scriptures over and over and over, and then the Most High reveals something to me that I never seen before. And I know if I ever fall into a category where I get the big head, He will stop revealing things to me. I know this for a fact. So we must stay humble and not get the big head. Because when you have this knowledge, it does feel good. It feels good, but you should be able to handle the information, the knowledge that he's given you, the wisdom that he give you. You should be able to handle that. So I'm gonna be light on these camps, and I'm not calling out any camp. Everyone knows this camp here. They call the Israelite Church of God and Jesus Christ. So we know that they have been raided by the FBI and the CIA and the IRS. Okay. Basically, not going deep into it, flags off the top. They call themselves a church. Now, I showed how, He opened my eyes to what church is, where this word comes from. And we should not be associated with any group. I don't care who they are. Christian church, the Israelite camps. If they call themselves a church, we must not partake of that, because we know who is over the church of God. There's that Hebrew name, that Hebrew name, God. If they're calling on God, I can't sit under them. I'm sorry. You cannot speak God over me. I cannot sit under you. This almost eliminates all of them, because if they don't call themselves a church, they call on God. And some even call on Jesus. I can't sit under you. And they speaking Christ out of their mouth. I showed the difference between Christ and Mashiach. They are different. They are against each other. One is a Roman. Christ is Roman anointed. He is not the king of Yasharal. This is what they created. And the Mashiach is the king of Yasharal. This has already been brought out on this channel. Very simple. Okay. What else they do? That's a flag that should keep us away. They call on all these names. These are names of other mighty ones in the scripture. And they're in the scripture. All of these names, they're in the scripture. And they call on all of these names. Especially the B-A-A-L-L-O-R-D. I mean, they call on this name. There's J-E-S-U-S, Z-E-U-S, under disguise. And so we should not call on these names. So any of them, this is what they do. On the Shabbat while they're teaching, they say these names. They say them right out of their mouth. And I cannot, for the life of me, I cannot believe how people with any type of knowledge and understanding, how can they sit under them as they call on these names? You're giving power to these names. And this is who the world's worshiping right here. All these mighty ones, all those names. Here are the faces to all those names. And you look here. And of course, there's J-E-S-U-S. This is what our leaders, this is who they go to. This is the liberty. This is again, we should not be, why are we sitting under people that's calling on these names? We should not be sitting under these people that's calling on these names. All right, let's go to the scripture. What does it say? Why aren't they listening to the scriptures? This is the part I don't know. I do not understand. Exodus 23:13. And in all that I have said to you, be circumspect and make no mention of the name of other mighty ones. No mention. He could have left it off and said, that's it. No mention. Make no mention. But that's not enough. He goes on to say, nor let it be heard from your mouth. Do not let the name of God come out of your mouth. This is what he's saying. Don't let it come out of your mouth. Why? When we do this, we give power. We give power to these entities. We're calling on these entities. We should be calling on the Most High and Him alone. He do not want us calling on no other mighty one. Joshua 23:7. Starting at the second sentence, you shall not make mention of the name of their mighty ones, nor cause anyone to swear by them. You should not serve them, nor bow down to them. So he's saying the same thing. You see, Joshua knew this. To not make mention of the names of the other mighty ones. We shouldn't let it be heard out of our mouth. These are flags. Let this be a flag. Number 2. Okay. Maybe I should have mentioned this one before. I'm looking on my list here. I have a little list. These camps have acronyms for their names. Why is this? Why do all of these camps have acronyms? It's almost if you want to be part of the alphabet gangs. What? I don't understand. You do not need acronym for your name. That's puzzling. And all of them seem to have acronyms. Something else they do. They collect tithes. Now, I have not done a video on tithe. There are many videos out there on tithe, and we should know by now what tithes are. It's not money. This is what the Christian church, this is what they use. This is what and this is what a lot of the camps are doing now. They are collecting tithes. Some 10%, some 20%, and believe it or not, some even 30%. They are collecting 30% tithes money from the people. The tithes went to the Levites. We should know this by now. If you have not done the research, shame on you. You should know this by now. The tithes go to the Levites because they had no inheritance. It's in the law. And the tithes was food, not money. It's right there in the law. Now, let's see what they're doing. Micah 3:11. Her head, judged for a bribe. This is concerning the Yasharal here. Make no mistake about it, when they were in the land. But it also applies to these men that's out here collecting tithes. Her priests teach for pay. They are teaching to get paid. Now, if you want to teach to get paid, teach business. You can teach business, have a class on business, and you can get paid. Nothing wrong with that. Teach health. Teach people how to be healthy. Teach marriage counsel. I mean, there are many different things you can teach and get paid, but do not teach scripture and get paid. And this is what they're doing. And some of them even having the people believe they can get a higher learning by coming into our lesson and charging people to learn the scripture. This is very dangerous. And her prophets divine for money. So the Most High spoke to me concerning you. So I will tell you what he said, but you must pay me. So what these men do, what these men in these camps do, yet they lean on the Most High and say, is not Yahuwah among us? They sit right in our face and tell us, the Most High is among us. No harm can come to us. They're in Babylon partaking of her sins, and they're saying no harm is going to come to us. What does Matthew 10:8 says? He says, heal the sick, cleanse the lepers, raise the dead, cast out demons. Freely you have received, freely give. Here's a scripture that they do not want to give the people. I freely received the scripture from the Most High through his Ruach. And so why should I charge you anything? Anything. He says you freely receive, freely give. It's just that simple. So what's going to become of these guys? And this is the start. What went down with that raid, this is the start of something. And you should let this be a warning to you. Acts 5:38 and 39. And now I say to you, keep away from these men and let them alone. Keep away from these men and leave them alone. This is a warning. Why? Because these raids will not end with that first camp. That's just the first camp they bringing down. Any movement our people get, they will come into it and break it up from the inside out. So now they're ready to break them up. They're ready to break them up from the inside out and tear them down. And the rest will scatter. For if this plan or this work is of men, it will come to nothing. We will see their plans come to nothing if it's of men. But if it's of the Most High, you can't overthrow it. Lest it be, yes, you be found fighting against the Most High. And this is something that's is detrimental to those that fight against true men that the Most High is with. You're not fighting against those men. You're fighting against him. I want to give one more. This is it's a very, how can I say it? It's a good verse here from the book of Thomas 49. Listen to what Yahushua said. Yahushua said, congratulations. He says, congratulations to those who are alone and chosen. What do you mean, alone and chosen? His people right now is at a point where they are alone. It's just them and the Most High. And this is how he wanted. He wanted his people separated and alone. He's going to pull us together. But right now we should be separate and alone. He says, for you will find the Father's domain. For you have come for it, and you will return there again. He's saying you came out of Babylon. You done came for this kingdom, and you will come into the land again. This is what he's saying. So what did we come for? Here's what we come for. And here's what and why we come. We come because he commanded us to. Number one. Number two, we come for salvation. We come for the wilderness. We come to hear his voice. We come for the land. We come to replenish the earth. All of this is scripture that I'm giving you, that I've been over. We come to serve Yahuwah forever and forever. This is what we came for. And if these men not giving you this is the true message. This is the true bashar of his word. If you don't have this message, I'm sorry to say it, you will be lost without hope, and you will find yourself numbered with the wicked. And I hate to say it that way, but it's just the truth. So I hope this message resonates with everyone. Shalom.